This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball EXCEL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1978-81 Fall League. We are in the National League with the National League Championship Series. The last two survivors, the number 4 seed Braves and number 3 seed Dodgers in the Championship Series. Let's just start with a review of what's taking place to get you right up to speed here. Series opens up in LA. Game 1, Phil Niekro and Don Sutton, the aces. This is a very tight game. Braves get a quick start, a Randall double, a single, and they score in double play. Bottom of the third, Davey Lopes triples, he scores on a sac fly. It's 1-1. Go to the 6th inning. After Kirk Gibson steals a base, Garvey singles him in. It's 2-1. Very well, crisply played, pitched game. We get to the 9th inning. Leading off is Rico Carty. Boom! Solo homer, Rico Carty in the top of the 9th. It is 2-2. And now it's going to be a battle of bullpens. Your final lines, Niekro for 9 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. Sutton, same kind of thing. 9 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. But in extra innings, Forster goes inning and a third, and Garber goes 2 innings, scoreless. Castillo comes in relief in the top of the 11th inning after an out. Gary Matthews hits a ground ball to Ron Say, a 2E11 third baseman, and it's an error. Very unlikely. Jeff Burrows rolls single 1-8 on the pitcher's card and gets it. Pinch hitter Doug Alt does the same thing, single 1-8 off the pitcher's card. So 3 low probabilities hit in a row, and then Dale Murphy, you guessed it, grand slam home run. Well, for him, he hit 33 of them, so that's not low probability. There's your ball game, folks. A grand slam on the road in extra innings in the 11th inning. Final score, Atlanta 6, Dodgers 2. And are we going to have an upset in the making? Dodgers lose home field in Game 1. So we go Game 2. Still in LA, they need a split at home. We've got Don Robinson for the Braves, Bert Hooton for the Dodgers. They get to Robinson in the first. Bunch of singles, 5 of them with a double mixed in. 4-0 Dodgers. The Braves get a Gary Matthews 2-run homer. They're hanging in there 4-2. However, Don Robinson gets injured after 5 innings. They go to the long man, Craig Scott. He does okay for 2 innings, giving up a solo homer to Reggie Smith off of Reggie Smith's card. Not a lot you can do. So it's a 5-2 game. But in the 8th inning, the Dodgers, doesn't matter who's pitching, Garvey off his card, Reggie Smith off his card, and Dusty Baker off his card. Back-to-back homers off the Dodger cards. Guys who hit 29, 30, and 29 home runs, and it just worked out. And the Dodgers come back in a big way in Game 2 with a 10-3 victory. So we go to Atlanta for Game 3. We need the Braves to hold on to home field if they can. They got the split. They win 3 straight at home. They're on the World Series. Game 3 starters are the sketchy guys on each team. Jim Umbarger, the best available lefty the Dodgers could find in the draft, which doesn't say a lot. Could be the worst player on the team. And for the Braves, it's Randy Neiman. Similar, but Neiman's a little bit better. It starts out exactly as you might think. Braves get a triple, 2 singles, and another triple, and 3 runs off of Umbarger early. And you think they're going to coast to a double-digit game scoring. Here come the Dodgers off of Neiman. Single, error on Doug Alt. Couple doubles, couple walks, and a fielder's choice. 4-3 Dodgers. Braves come right back with a Doug Alt homer. It's 4-4. Top of the 5th inning. Now these guys are just trying to qualify for a win if they can, if they get a lead. You get a double, single, double, and a sac fly. Dodgers take a 6-4 lead. Umbarger barely makes it through the 5th, giving up a double, single, and an error, and it's 6-5. So Umbarger will gladly go home, qualifying for a win, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. And frankly, Neiman pitched the 6th inning, and he did okay, and then they turned it over to that great Atlanta bullpen, shut the Dodgers down. So it is up to Hotlanta in a 6-5 game to keep the offense going against long reliever Tom Bruno. They cannot. A Swisher single in the 6th, couple singles in the 7th, a walk and a caught stealing in the 8th, 3 brilliant innings for Tom Bruno, 3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 4 Ks. Bobby Castillo, a single, an out, and a double play. You get a road win for the Dodgers with a Jim Umbarger starting. That is not good news for your opponent. And by the way, Jim Umbarger will go right back to mothballs, as he's not scheduled to pitch again in this series. So this was the game, the gimme game the Braves needed, and they couldn't get it. And the Dodgers, loser of Game 1, now has home field by winning Game 3. They're up 2-1 in the series. Game 4, Braves need to get the split in the first 4 if they can. It's Rick Sutcliffe for the Dodgers, Tommy Boggs for the Braves. Pretty even pitching matchup. But again, the Dodgers got their bats, folks. And they do it a lot of different ways. Bob Stinson is a +2 arm catcher, and his backup, Steve Swisher, is a +1 arm catcher. And finally, it takes them 4 games, but the Dodgers get a stolen base from Gibson here, a stolen base from Lopes there, a stolen base from Gibson there. They score on singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles and 4 runs in the 3rd inning. So it's 4-zip. And now the Braves are finally in trouble for the first time in the whole series. This game stays that way as Sutcliffe is pitching a gem. Top of the 8th, Soche is brought in to keep it close, but Garvey gets another RBI single. Steve Garvey's having an excellent series. 5-0. So the Braves need a miracle now. Bottom of the 8th, a leadoff single by Jerry Royster. And then Pepe Frias, in a bold move, decides to do a hit and run instead of swinging away, down 5 runs, hoping for the base hit. Bingo, rolls the 5, gets the base hit. So now the Braves have a chance. Randall singles, 3 straight singles off of Sutcliffe. That will break him. He's out of there. And now Terry Forster and Bobby Castillo have got to figure out how to get out of the 8th inning. That started 5-0. It becomes 5-2 after another single or another walk. So they get out of it 5-2 now. Dodgers don't score in the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, Castillo is asked to get a couple outs after a single, but Steve Howe is then asked to close the final out of this game as Castillo goes an inning and a 3rd. And Steve Howe faces Doug Alt, and he gets Doug Alt out to end the game. 5-2, Dodgers, 3 straight wins, 2 in Hotlanta, and now the Braves need to win 3 straight. So we will come back after a short break with Game 5 in Hotlanta. And if there are more games after that, we will broadcast those for you as well. We'll broadcast every potential elimination game that remains. So we'll see you after this break. All right, it's Game 5, and the pitchers for the Dodgers, we're going back to the Game 1 matchup. The aces, Don Sutton and Phil Niekro. Both these guys pitched in closeout games in previous series, the wild card rounds. And Sutton won that closeout game in the divisional round. Niekro did not, but they still made a couple starts in those 2 series. Leading off, let me give you the stats first. Don Sutton, of course, he is 13-5 with a 2.21 ERA in 212 innings. And of course, Phil Niekro, 78, 19-18, 2.88 ERA, 334 innings. Sutton Niekro, Game 5, Braves have to have this. Leading off for the Dodgers is Davey Lopes. 66, single 1 to 17 is a base hit, and they're going to keep putting the pressure on the bases. Lopes will attempt to steal, and he steals on a 4. They are getting hot stealing bases now, and that's completely changed the element of this game, this series. That's the biggest Brave weakness. So Lopes is at second for Kirk Gibson. And 1-2, just on cue, folks. Kirk Gibson rolls a low max. Well, that'll shut things down. Lopes off the bag a little bit too far. It gets doubled off. Huge break for Atlanta. They need it. Steve Garvey. 312, well, another Lomax. In case you want to get, 5 or 6 outs in an inning, I suppose. Anyway. All right, so that disaster's over for the Dodgers. Lenny Randle leads off for the Braves. 47. Single one is 6 off of Sutton. And gets the 6. He's a beast stealer. But Mike Scioscia is catching for the Dodgers with a -1 arm, and the Braves are more hesitant to steal as they've got a bunch of sluggers coming up, beginning with Gary Matthews. 58, second X. Lopes, a 3E15 second baseman, and it's a GBA. Well, 2 outs, Jeff Burrows. 45, homer on a 1, fly ball, flies out on a 5. Top of 2, Reggie Smith. 48, second X. The Braves second baseman is Lenny Randle, a 4E22. And it's a GBC. Dusty Baker, 410, center X. This is Dale Murphy, a 3E6 out there. He makes the grab. And Ron Say, 511, second X. Again, back to Randle. But it's a single this time. And your DH, Willie Horton, 55. Off of the Necro card is triple on a 5, single ... And it is a single ... You have runners on the corners, and it's Bill Russell, the shortstop. 55, same result. Triple on a 5. But this time, a 5 is rolled. It goes through the outfielders, and the speedy Bill Russell ends up at third base, and that'll score 2 runs instead of 1 run. Big break, Dodgers. 2-run triple. It's 2-0. Mike Scioscia. 34, grounds to second. American League Championship Series was a lot of fun, folks. Angels won that in 6, but it was very competitive, beating Baltimore 4-2. They're in the World Series. Dodgers having an easier time of it in the National League, and early on, it's looking like an all-California World Series. Let's see if the Braves step up and change that. John Mayberry. 63, first X. This is Garvey, a 1E7. Dale Murphy, 58, second X again. A lot of ground balls to the second baseman today. And Lopes is up to the challenge. Rico Carty, 2-4, pops the third. Top of the third, Davey Lopes, 39. Is a grounder to short. Kirk Gibson, 1-7. Let's take a look at the Kirk Gibson card of 1981. He was a Detroit Tiger. The Dodgers made a king's ransom trade to get Gibson on their team sooner than we know him to be a Dodger later in the decade, but they wanted him here earlier as they had a vacant outfield position with Rick Monday gone and Darryl Thomas gone and other outfielders, so they brought in Gibson. 1-7 is double 1-4, single ... They're going to keep putting the pressure on Bob Stinson until he cuts them down stealing. Here's the steal attempt, and a 1 is rolled. Stinson's a T1-5, so hold up at second. Steve Garvey. 1-6. Let's take a look at the Garvey card. Having a great League Championship Series. They've been leaving him in the 3-hole all year against lefties and righties, and that has been the secret sauce. Just leave him alone, batting third, don't move him up and down the lineup. Let him hit away with his 315 average and 79 with 28 homers. Also from 79, we have the Ron Say card with 28 homers. Interestingly, that the Dodgers did not win the West in 79, and yet Garvey and Say have arguably their best years. Garvey, of course, Garvey won a MVP in 74 with a lesser card than the one he possesses here. 1-6, homer 1-10, double the rest, and it just goes over the fence in Fulton County Stadium. A 2-run homer. It's 4-0, and there are murmurs in Hotlanta. In a few years, there'll be REM Murmur in Athens, Georgia, just down the street. But anyway, it's 4-0, and it's Reggie Smith. 32, rounds the third. And Dusty Baker, 1-9, rounds the third. Bottom of the third inning, 4-0. Bob Stinson. 3-10, walk. Jerry Royster, 5'11". Pitcher X, E14 pitcher. This is a big moment here. A 2. E14, not an E15. You got to put the proper E rating in, and it's out. Double play. The reason what it said an error on E15, the Dodgers would say, hey, our guy's better than E15. He's an E14. Put the proper result in, you get the double play. Simple as that. Pepe Frias, 6'10", third X. This is Ron Say, a 2E11. He made the big error in the Game 1 loss, but he makes the play here. A Ron Say error led to what could have been a Dodgers sweep in this series. So, 4-zip, top of the fourth. Here's Ron Say. 1-7, that's a base hit. Willie Horton, here's a who, 65 off of Necro. Skies the shallow center field. Bill Russell, 1-4. He bounces into a 6-4-3 double play. All right, Braves got to get it going. Their offense has been pretty decent the whole series against good Dodger pitching, but today, nothing. Len Randall, 4'11", first C. Gary Matthews, 32, fouled the catcher. Burrows, 57, a strikeout. Sutton has faced the minimum with 2 double plays tossed in there. Yeah, best start in the postseason, and coming at a perfect time as they are now with a 4-run lead. Dare we say it, they are 15 outs away from going to the World Series. Mike Scioscia, 53, rolls to first. Davey Lopes, 69, flies to center. Kirk Gibson, 5'11", is a K. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the 5th, it's John Mayberry. 6'11", left X. It's Dusty Baker, a 2E3 in left field. He makes the grab. Dodgers have good defense in most places. Dale Murphy, 2-6 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Rico Carty. 2-7, that's going to be a base hit. And the Braves have a base runner with 2 outs. And here's Bob Stinson, who walked earlier. 2-4, rolls to second base. Oh boy. 4-0 into the 6th. It's going to be Steve Garvey. 59, rolls to second. Reggie Smith, 67, strikes out. Baker, Dusty, 39, is double one to 16. That's a double. And with 2 outs, Ron Say, who has a couple singles today already. 57 is a strikeout. So Necro is trying to keep his team in this thing. It's a 4-run game, bottom of the 6th. And they will go to Jerry Royster. 62, skies the center. These are nowhere rolls, folks. You got no shot, Sutton or anybody else. Braves are drawing blanks on what they're rolling. Pepe Frias, 58, second X. Need to get on base here. 3-15 second baseman. They cannot. Davey Lopes brought his glove today, folks. Good for him. And with 2 outs, it's Len Randall. 47 off of Sutton. Here is single 1 to 6. And a break finally for the Braves. They hit a single 1 to 6. We got a base runner. Gary Matthews trying to make something happen here. Let's take a look at Gary Matthews' card as things are getting kind of dire. We need him to contribute. Arguably his best year in Atlanta. I don't know what his best overall year was because he did very well with the Phillies and very well with the Cubs. But in 79 with the Braves, he hit .304 with 27 home runs, 34 doubles, and almost 700 plate appearances. The everyday right fielder with a little bit of speed, base runner, and can steal some bases. Big moment here for Gary Matthews in the bottom of the 6th inning, down 4. The pitch to Gary. 49 off of Sutton is a walk, and now you got Jeff Burrows. Let's take a look at Burrows' card. His last really big year in Atlanta in 1978, he hit .301 with 23 home runs, 117 walks. Won an MVP with Texas. And he had that nice little run between 74 and this year, 78. And he was still a decent player for a couple more years. But his last big year is here. And a big 3-run homer would really do wonders for the psyche of the Atlanta Braves. The pitch to Jeff Burrows. 110 is a fly ball to left field. A rare case where a 300 hitter does not have a hit chance on 110 on the 1-5 to 10 card. That is very rare, probably because of all those walks. So they make up for the percentage. They don't put a single chance there. Interesting. That's a real tough break for Burroughs. 4-0 game, top of the 7th. Necro is a starter 8, Sutton's a starter 7. Both guys will continue. It's Willie Horton. 68 for Horton, flies to left. Bill Russell. 3-6, flies to center. And Mike Scioscia. 57, it's a strikeout. 3 up and 3 down. The Dodgers are going to start thinking a little bit of defense. They're going to put Jim Norris out in right field for Reggie Smith. Smith will go to DH, and Horton will leave the game. That's the only defensive move they can make. Stretch time in Hotlanta, down 4-0. They were down 5-0 last game. I don't know what's happening with the Brave Bats. But we've been enjoying Little Feats, 1978, Waiting for Columbus, live LP. Oh, Atlanta for the Atlanta Braves. Fat Man in the Bathtub. Of course, you got Spanish Moon and Dixie Chicken and all those great live ones. Sailing Shoes. Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Recorded in DC, London. Great double live record. Very excellent sound quality for its day. Bottom of the 7th. They've got to get going. It'll be John Mayberry leading off. 39 and Mayberry delivers double 1 single. Leadoff man gets on. 3 base runners will get Sutton out of there. So here's Dale Murphy. 34 is a ground ball to short, but it's a fielder's choice. He legs out and avoids the double play. Rico Carty. 54 off Sutton is a pop to short. And with 2 outs, it's Bob Stinson. 67 off Sutton is a strikeout. Too much Don Sutton today, folks. Too much Don Sutton, and the Dodgers are 6 outs away from going to the World Series. They had a 5-0 lead in Game 4, 4-0 today. Top of the 8th, top of the lineup. It'll be Davey Lopes. 45, flies to right. Not a lot Phil Necro can do. He's pitched pretty well after the early struggle. Kirk Gibson, 410. Center X. Dale Murphy's a 3-6 in center field. He catches that one. And Steve Garvey. 37, Garvey skies the center field. All right, here we are again. Same situation we had in Game 4. Royster led off the bottom of the 8th with a single, and Frias did a hit and run because they were trying to increase his batting average, and it worked. He got a hit and run single. So that was magic. And boy, do they need the magic again. Can't break Sutton with 2 base runners. You need 3. And you got Bobby Castillo, Terry Forster, and Steve Howe warming. Oh boy. Here is Jerry Royster. 410 off of Sutton is a fly ball into center. Now you got Kirk Gibson. He's a 3-10 in center field. You need to reach on an error or a hit. They cannot. It's a fly ball B. On the bench, Steve Swisher, Doug Alt, Kurt Bavacqua, all better against lefties. That's the reason why they didn't get the start today. And Frias, he really is the only shortstop on the team. Bavacqua can't even back up at short. You can move. Randall can't. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's Atlanta, folks. You can move Royster to short. Pepe Frias will hit away. 1-6 is a pop to short. Okay, and with 2 outs, it's Len Randall. Been on twice today. He's had a decent series, getting on base. The pitch to Lenny Randall. 212 pops to third base. We go to the 9th inning, and Phil Necro will continue as the rubber-armed 334 inning pitched starter will continue. It's pretty much a typical Necro game. 4 runs in Atlanta. But the Brave offense has been terrible recently. Reggie Smith, 48, bounces to second. Randall's a 4-22, gets a ground ball B. Dusty Baker, 53, flies to right X. This is Gary Matthews, a 3-8 in right field. And he catches that one. Brave defense is hanging in there by a thread, and it's Ron Say. 57 is a strikeout. Necro, the fans give him a standing ovation. He gave up a Garvey 2-run blast and a 2-run triple, and then after that, he pitched 6 1/3 quality innings, shutout innings. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Sutton, no danger of breaking, will go for a CGSO, but I'll have to go through Murderer's Row at the top of the lineup with the 27 homers of Matthews, 23 of Burrows, 21 of Mayberry, 33 of Murphy, and 31 of Carty. You kind of think the Braves are due, folks. So here we go, bottom of the ninth. It's Gary Matthews. 1-8 is a ground ball to short. Oh boy. We showed you Burrows' card, so I'll show it again. The pitch to Jeff Burrows. 33 is a ground ball to third. And with 2 outs, let's take a look at John Mayberry. He actually was a Toronto Blue Jay in 1979. Hit .274 with 21 home runs. Always good defensively. Here he's a .288 first baseman. And it's up for John Mayberry to continue Atlanta's season for one more batter. The pitch to John Mayberry. 2-3. It's a fly ball to center field. Ladies and gentlemen, it's too much Don Sutton today. The Dodgers are going to the World Series with a 4-0 shutout of the Atlanta Braves. An all-California World Series is on the books for better or for worse. Niekro, 8 hits, 4 runs. They were earned. No walks for Phil Niekro with that knuckleball. 5 strikeouts. Does get a complete game. But too much Don Sutton today, folks, in a closeout game. 4 hits shutout, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a complete game. 1009, 0109, 4804, 0523. That is game 5. The Dodgers roll through the National League playoffs, dominating their opponents. They won the wild card game. They swept Portland, and they took 4 out of 5 from hot Atlanta. 8-1. They've won 8 out of 9. And now is the time to get hot in the League Championship Series going into the World Series. No better time than now for the Dodgers, who had kind of an ordinary regular season. But they are clicking on all cylinders. The bats, the 2-out hits, the base stealing, the defense, the starting pitching, and the relief pitching. Every aspect Dodgers have. They would clearly be the favorite in the World Series against the Angels, though it's very tight. The Braves finished their season 21-19. So they got to the division. They won 4 of the first 5 postseason games, and then lost 4 of their 5 postseason games. Barely winning the division, a couple games over 500. They are what they are, or they are what they were in this timeline. They're just not ready yet. Guys like Rico Carty and Jeff Burrows will probably not find success with Atlanta. 1982, the Braves win the West, and that's coming up, and they're going to have to transition into the Rick Mahlers and Glenn Hubbards and Brett Butlers and Rafael Ramirez's and guys like that to join Dale Murphy. 21-19, they hit .268 with a 4.21 ERA. Great bullpen, though. The Atlanta bullpen is outstanding, and they'll keep it together next year. Garber, Soche, and Camp. The numbers. They were 11-1 with 9 saves. Actually, Craig Skok was 3-0, so let's update that. They were, Skok, I'm sorry, he was 0-0. We'll leave it alone. 11-1 with 11 saves. All the starting pitchers for the Braves had losing records except Don Robinson was .500. Rico Carty had 12 homers, 28 RBI. And Dale Murphy had 34 RBI. And they overachieved, and they got to the League Championship Series. The Dodgers, 24-15 with the current best overall record in baseball. Winners of 8 of 9 games, hitting .271 with a 3.61 ERA. You got Sutton's 8-3. Sutcliffe is 6-2. Umbarger is 2-5, the worst pitcher on the team, and they got to kind of hide him in the World Series if they can. We talked about the Dodger home runs. They're all over the place. They're 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, 9. A nice mix of power all over the lineup. Baker, Say, Garvey, Gibson. Horton's got 7 home runs, brought in as a DH. Davey Lopes has 7 homers. and Reggie Smith has 9. The back end of the bullpen, Castillo and Steve Howe doing the job. So that is it, folks. We are going to have a World Series out west, and it'll be the 23-15 California Angels versus the 24-15 LA Dodgers in the World Series. And I can quickly just kind of take a peek at the pitching matchups, as this series is over after 5 games, and we could go right back to Don Sutton on 3 days rest in the World Series. So here we are. Atlanta's done. The Angels are going to start Frank Tanana in the World Series. You got to go Don Sutton. You go Sutton. You go Bert Hooton in Game 2. You go Sutcliffe in 3. Back to Sutton in 4. You give Jim Umbarger his lone start in Game 5. And then you come back with Bert Hooton and Don Sutton in Game 7. So, wow. Tanana, Sutton, Hooton, Ryan, Hartzell, Sutcliffe, Tanana, Sutton, Ryan, Umbarger, Ross Baumgarten, his lone start. Actually, they could actually put Baumgarten. We could actually schedule Ross Baumgarten versus Jim Umbarger at the same time for both teams, since that's be an interesting game. We'll probably reschedule that. So we'll change that a bit. But that's it, folks. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers going to the World Series. Winners of the World Series in 71. Losers in 78. The tail ends of this 4-year carryover league. We'll see if they get a ring or not. The Angels, 79 League Championship Series runner-up. They're going to see if they can get a ring. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.